internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. If you're eating, if you're doing anything that involves having something in your mouth, stop, because you're going to choke on it. And as much as that sounded wrong, guess what? There's a lot of wrong information being dispersed outside right now on Twitter about Chainlink. And this is the last time I want to cover this. This is the last time, but the information that I provide to you, coming from the BIS Innovation Hub, and when we talk about the BIS Innovation Hub, just to kind of compare here, because that's what we love to do, where's Chainlink here on the BIS Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure, right? Where is it? I see MasterCard, I see Ripple, I see Swift, I see the Clearinghouse, I see Deutsche Bank, which is working with Ripple, along with many other ones here, along with PayNet, along with CLS, Finality International, right? Where is Chainlink on this CPMI list? And you're probably wondering, give it up. We know Chainlink is completely different, but the thing is, it's 2025 and people don't understand what a settlement asset means. And I'm gonna tell you it in like the most simplest terms. Okay, yesterday we broke down the noise around Swift, Chainlink, and the confusion. But today, I'm gonna take you deeper, because once you understand what a settlement asset is, it's game over. And the BIS told you they still don't have it, and they're trying to create these prototypes, they're testing. But in reality, you do understand that Ripple is leading the way in silence internally. And as much as you think that's crazy, that's fine. I mean, me working at the bank for 10 years, being an insider myself in terms of seeing how the banks operate, they don't announce everything that they're doing, okay? And all I could tell you is when you're collaborating with the public sector and the private sector is coming together, it's a completely different ballgame. And we know how big this whole ecosystem is going to get, right? So Matt replied to a Chainlink individual and said, trying to compare their value is sort of meaningless. Link is a protocol. The XRP ledger is an actual network. XRP is the native asset of that entire network. Link is just a token used within the network. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, Matt Hamilton, he previously was a developer and worked at Ripple. I believe now he's at Filecoin. I believe I may be wrong. But the thing is, I'm done replying to these individuals publicly. It's absolutely game over. It's like speaking to, honestly, it's better speaking to a pigeon. This is like speaking to a wall. And when we talk about payments here, okay, I just want to bring this to your attention, because people that say Bitcoin can be used as payment, no, it cannot be used as payments at scale on institutional size. When you go take a look at the average time for Bitcoin, it is at 13 minutes. Are you kidding me? That's like waiting for a bus to arrive at your station. And let's go ahead and refresh. Yesterday was 5 minutes. I've been monitoring this. If we refresh now, the average time is still 13 minutes, okay? And I mean, we've told you guys about this a long time ago. Bitcoin's use case is delusion. That's all it is. I own it because I'm a part of the biggest Ponzi scheme in the human history, like I've told you guys in the past. But I'm going to hold it because I got in at 3K. So I'll hold it until I know it's about to burst, okay?
But I think Bitcoin and Ethereum have failed. It wasn't true a year ago, but I think Bitcoin and Ethereum have failed to be a payment method. I think they have succeeded in being a commodity, and certainly the U.S. government has.
But here's the thing. We're going to get into the BIS documents. The IMF, again, let's go back to 2017. Where's Chainlink? IMF Managing Director welcomes establishment of high-level advisory group on fintech. The group is composed of highly experienced and respected leaders in the field of finance and technology and includes industry pioneers, regulators, and lawyers and academics. And if you go into the individuals that are a part of this, guess who you have? You have the BBVA, all working with Ripple, it is known. You have Ripple here. And that's pretty much it when it comes into, and Circle and Ripple. Jeremy Allaire and Chris Larson are a part of this since 2017. Okay, and this is when it was publicly announced. And I'm going to get into the cross-border PDF here by the BIS. But I want to explain to you the layers to this. Okay, there are layers to this, and once you understand this is all you need to know. Because at the top of the layer, you have the messaging system, which is SWIFT. They sent instructions. For example, Bank A owes Bank B this much money, but they don't actually move the money. They don't actually move the value. Then you have collateral and credit layers, right? So you have your IOUs, your promises, your stablecoins, and your tokenized assets. They represent value, but they aren't value themselves. And then at the very bottom, you have the settlement asset. And what is a settlement asset? A settlement is when there is pretty much no risk in place. When the transaction is final, it's not reversible, there is no counterparty risk, and there is no, like, I'll pay you in a couple minutes. It's done, it's game over, on to the next one. It's delivered, it's confirmed, it's locked in, and trying to do that at scale is very difficult. So think about it this way. Every other layer sits on top of settlement. Without it, the system collapses, okay? Swift could send millions of messages a day, but if the settlement layer fails, nothing clears. Stablecoins can tokenize dollars all day, but if the redemption fails, that's just another IOU. So this is why a true settlement asset is extremely rare. And owning XRP is extremely rare because we're going to an new economy where XRP is going to play a role. Okay, you're going to have the individual. Listen, I'm sorry if this triggers people, but it is a fact. There is a lot of dumb people out there. Okay, and individuals that are getting into crypto right now, let's just say last month. I'm sorry if you're one of the viewers, that just got in last month and you enjoyed my videos, and this may seem like I'm insulting you, but you're already here, you're smart, okay? But here's the thing. You're an idiot. It's 2025. Where were you for even the last year, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 6 years ago? And then here and there, you're going to get the people that leave a comment saying, I had this problem, I had this problem, I had this problem. Listen, we all have problems. We're not perfect. I have problems. I come out here and make videos every single day, but you guys have no idea what goes in my personal life. There's days where I cry in the morning in the shower. Yeah, call me gay. But it happens from time to time. There is burnout. There's a lot going on. We all have lives. You just see me here in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but you don't truly understand what everybody goes through on this planet, okay? But many of you guys that have been following this channel for a very long time, at least you're financially better off. And I always tell you guys that being wealthy is not gonna make you more happier. It's not gonna, like happiness is about the people that you have around you, and that's it, right? You can have all the wealth in the world, and if you wanna be lonely, trust me, that's not fun. So here's the thing. Okay, I kind of started off a rant there. I do apologize, but let's continue. Okay, so we talked about the layers. So this is why a settlement asset is rare. Okay, listen to this. It's neutral. It's not controlled by one bank, one government. You may say XRP is controlled by Ripple, but you have to understand when you're implementing a system like this, you need to have a leverage to propose to the Federal Reserve, to the governments across the world, saying we do have this asset and we do have stability involved in it because we control majority of the supply. And that is why Salute is doing the same thing. And then liquidity, you guys all know, deep enough. It has to be deep enough to handle trillions and billions of dollars in flow. And it has to be final, right? The finality has to be there. There is no takebacks, there is no reversals, absolute certainty. But here's the thing, you may have heard that they're going to do clawbacks on RLUSD or USDC potentially. But here's the thing, clawbacks, yes, is like a refund. But when you're, again, coming together, colliding the private and public sector together, you need to still have the whole compliance and legal framework in place. In banks, when you get defrauded, you get a refund, right, on your credit card. It's the same thing for crypto. They need to implement these in order to still kind of have the still same systems in terms of insurance to the users. And here's the part nobody gets, right? You saw how long Bitcoin takes. It's way too slow. You cannot do that at scale. There is only one asset designed from day one to be globally neutral, liquid, and have that finality and be scalable. And that's XRP. And once you see these layers, you cannot unsee it. It truly feels like, just try to get this word out to everybody, because trust me, guys and ladies, we're all correct. Okay, we were correct when we were saying the same information. Again, some people think we're repeating the same information every day. No, we're moving with the industry, and we're, circling back on the information that we said was going to happen and did happen, right? So just like in this PDF, this is from the BIS 2024, October, okay? Challenges due to integration and interoperability. In addition to conventional risk, tokenization may lead to additional considerations that arise from the notable features of token arrangements. This section discusses challenges that may arise due to vertical integration of functions with platforms, the horizontal interoperability between platforms, and settlement asset options. And the BIS paperwork that they released, even in 2025, they still don't have what they're looking for. These are all tests. Like, remember Project Jasper, UPIN, Helvetia, Project, what was that other one? There's so many PDFs that we have gone through in the past years, right? So the trust bridges and money flows, they told you here that a private settlement asset in a marketplace such as Ripple's XRP, and they refer to as Stellar as well, that is what they're gonna be using. However, a public solution, and they said potentially run by a regulated private entity, Ripple, regulated private entity, has key advantages, such as tackling coordination problems around centralizing participation and liquidity provision, offering clear and trusted governance, operational stability, and providing full compatibility with financial integrity standards. And Ripple XRP has all that. They provide the full compatibility with financial integrity standards. They do have the trusted governance and operational stability in place. And guess what? They are also liquidity provision at the highest level. Okay, man, was that an evil laugh? Let me know in the comments down below. But
we need to make sure that the payments architecture has the right privacy protections, so that people can trust using the system, because trust is really the essential linchpin of any payment system. Without trust, you can't make a payment, whatever technology you're using to underlie that basic approach.
Wow.
We need robust data sources and sound statistical methodologies to understand what is going on with these new means of payment. We must consider whether our understanding and computation of traditional monetary and liquidity indicators need to be re-evaluated considering newer types of payments. Through cooperation across borders, industries, and professions, so we can develop a comprehensive and consistent approach on measuring these new payment methods.
And then the conclusion, they ended off with this, right? In cross-border payments, a common settlement asset or a common settlement platform does not exist, okay? Because different countries use different currencies and have different banking systems. In this environment, bilateral credit relationships between transacting parties become essential. But these relationships are typically scarce and costly. Central banks can have intervened by providing liquidity through swap lines, but bilateral trust relationships between central banks that are necessary for creation of swap lines are often missing. So when you hear people argue about XRP and the fact that they compare it to XRP, remember those layers, okay? Remember the layers, just the settlement layers. Because when it comes down to settlement, there's only one bad boy in town. And once you understand that, it's game over. It is absolutely game over. And I know everything that we have been saying on this channel is going to age so well. And you guys have no idea how hard it is for me to hold back to reply to some of these individuals. Again, there is no way of putting it politely. Maybe give me some help, okay? Like maybe give me some, in the comments down below. How do we handle these knuckleheads? And please tell me if you think I'm going too far, okay? But I'm not. I'm not. This is just reality. Like I said, these videos are one cut. They're zero BS. They're reality. It's just pure human talk. Okay, there's no sugarcoating. Like I said, if you're in crypto right now, if you're just getting in and you're trying to learn, like honestly, like where were you for the past years? Okay, the game is about to be completely wiped. Listen, 2026, and if any of you guys comment, oh, you're pushing the goalpost. Who's pushing the goalpost higher? $100 XRP by 2030 is what we said. Anything between now and then, it doesn't matter. XRP at $2.82, great. It was at 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents, 80 cents for a very long time. Okay, so everybody's in the profit. And again, for the individuals that are trying to get rich quick, just relax. What's the rush? Like honestly, what's the rush? You know what you're holding, you understand what you're holding, and just continue on with your day-to-day. But guess what? Your life is 10 times better because you have an objective that you're working towards, right? Never forget that. You go to work every single day, you're putting your cash flow that you have every month into crypto, you're accumulating your bags. That's having an objective in life. You have a purpose. You're working and they're funding your retirement. So remember that. Never forget that. If you're like kind of worried or not worried, if you're kind of sick of your job, listen, I was there. Okay, I quit my job less than a year and a half ago. And just remember that they're funding your retirement. And you should be doing everything with a huge smile on your face, because at the end of the day, this is all fun. You got your bags packed. You know, you're probably the only person in the office with that amount of digital assets. And yeah, if nobody on your floor has digital assets, they're all retarded. Literally, they're like, there's no way of better saying it. I'm so sorry. If I lose subscribers, it is what it is. But that's just reality. Like if you do not own crypto in 2025, like you are out of this world. And here's the other thing. If you have money sitting in the bank account, okay? If you guys have money sitting in your TFSAs, RSPs, even if you have Lira or RIF accounts or LIF accounts, you could still liquidate those with financial hardship, okay? So sitting in any of those assets, I'm telling you, it's for you. If you guys have six figures in the bank, if you guys have more than six figures in the bank, if you're doing it with a partner, I would sit down and I would say, hey, listen, honey, we got to move at least $50,000 or $100,000 or $200,000, $300,000 over to crypto and do your due diligence. Okay, do your research, but crypto is not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's either, here's the thing, it's either you're going to do it or your financial institution is going to reach out to you and saying, hey, you could get ETFs through us, if you're with Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, if you're with RBC, if you're with Bank of Montreal, they're going to reach out to you and they're going to tell you, hey, listen, like we have crypto ETFs that we want to put your funds in. And guess what? You don't even get to hold the physical tokens yourself in terms of you just own a basket. But you have an opportunity right now to have a piece of the pie, okay? Ondo, Axelar, Ripple, XRP, Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Avalanche. Like, these coins are going to be utilized in the next financial ecosystem, okay? And if you guys want to have a one-on-one, I will open this up for the last time. We will do 30-minute conversations, okay? The link is in the description down below, and I will take this down within the next 24 hours in terms of this link. So if you guys are interested, if you guys want to have a talk, links in the description down below, just to really get you guys hunkered down for this next major move. We'll be back with another video.
Of a once-in-a-lifetime shift. Of a once-in-a-lifetime shift. Of a once-in-a-lifetime shift.
Well, I woke up this morning, check my bags on the chain. XRPL still humming while the FUD folks complain. Ripple fighting Goliath, yeah, the SSA's game. But Johnny D and Hogan, they're bringing the flame. So we salute to the rebels in suits, to the coders and hodlers wearing dusty old boots. Raise a toast to the ledger and the lawyers who bite, while taco stand dumps through the middle of the night. Damn, Jed, can you chill? Brad G's on the mic saying clarity now, while Shorts codes the stars with the hologram cow wash. The haters keep chirping, but the people ain't blind. This ain't some mean dream, it's the internet's spine. Regulators stalling, but the clock's ticking fast. Ripple drops the case like a baseline blast. Communities united from Twitter to the street. We meme through the madness and never admit defeat. Yeah, we salute to the devs and the geeks, to the ledger that clears in seconds, not weeks. To D, to Hogan, to legal delight, and the salty old taco that just loves to spite. Hey Jed, you done yet? Or you got another dump scheduled for lunch? So here's to the warriors, the freaks, and the fans, waving salute tokens like battle flags in hand. It ain't just about coins, it's a movement, a pact. We defend what we build, and we're taking it back. Come on, salute to the ones in the fight, to the token that laughs in regulatory spite, to Schwartz, Brad, and the ones still believing, even while taco stands always leaving. One for XRP, and raise your guitar for decentralized dreams. This song's for the ledger, the truth and the proof. With a smile and a nod, we say salute.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.